Innovative solutions have a way of changing the world for good. Creating these solutions is the goal of my channel. I'm learning these skills for myself. I'm also trying my best to teach them to you. If it is something you are interested in, hit the subscribe button or follow me. Today's topic is, what mindset should you have to build successful businesses? And the inspiration for this video came when I was listening to this entrepreneur, Henrik Fisker. Henrik Fisker started his life as a designer for automobiles. There are some vehicles he designed that were used in James Bond movies in the 1900s. So he's good. He knows what he's doing. In 2007, he wanted to create cars that were not just luxurious, high-end, but sustainable, cars that respected the environment, electric cars. This man's company, Fisker Automotives, would have replaced Tesla. Fisker did what every entrepreneur could do. He designed the perfect car, he got his team together, created hype for his vehicles, but when it came time to launch, he could not meet the demand of the market. The major issue they had was mismanagement, arguing between him and the board, some logistic problems, because in order for him to save cost, he outsourced the production of this vehicle to companies in foreign countries. At the end, he sold the company. So that failed. So the next venture that Henrik Fisker went into, he had this idea for creating a better product, and he called it Fisker Ocean. One feature that stood out in this vehicle was, at the top of the vehicle, these cars could charge the battery, collecting power from the sun on its roof. So designed the solution, built some models, did a pre-sale, and this was a very promising product because over 60,000 people bought the car was released. Fisker is a brilliant entrepreneur. He knows how to do what entrepreneurs do best. Now, when he got to producing this, it took him about 3 years to create this product he had promised. In those 3 years, he couldn't produce enough cars. The cars he did produce, the features did not meet the promise. Most of them did not work properly. All this problem that Fisker had, from one business to the other, all comes down to the fact that he's not a good CEO. He's a brilliant entrepreneur, sure. Entrepreneur's job is to bring about ideas, but not enough for you to simply bring about an idea. Can you build it? Can you make this idea real? Entrepreneurs all see a market gap. They all look at a way something in the world can be made better. They all have vision. But being creative, being visionary is not enough for you to build a successful business. You need to be able to bring your vision to reality. And you cannot do that without adopting the mindset and the skill set of a CEO. A CEO is focused on execution. An entrepreneur is focused on innovation. Great CEOs are great managers. They know how to lead teams to get outcome. It is one thing to design a car. It's another thing to manage the entire team to create 10,000 of those cars every single month in a way that is cost effective at a price your market is willing to buy, and to make sure every single piece of the car is meeting the promise and the expectation of your market. The skills and the way of thinking are not the same. Entrepreneur focused on creativity. The CEO must focus on execution and management and leadership. You must integrate those two aspects. Let's move on. You see, some entrepreneurs are brilliant at seeing market opportunities. Good. Brilliant at designing minimum viable products, testing and creating hype. Good. Now let's look at the other side of this problem when a company has already been established. And now for me to make this point, I have to mention to you the story of Netflix. Before Netflix was created, they had this company called Blockbuster. So if you want to watch a movie, you have to go there and buy it and come home the normal way. If I'm not mistaken, Blockbuster at the time was so successful that it had about 9,000 stores, 84,000 employees worldwide, and it was making $6.1 billion in revenue. That's a lot. Companies at that stage, of course, you've passed the entrepreneurial stage because they've been able to scale, create their services. If you have 9,000 stores, making them $6.1 billion. Of course, you are delivering your product and services in a way that customers are interested month after month. The CEO is doing his job perfectly. Now, this is the next problem. What happens when somebody comes and introduces a better service than yours? That person is a threat to your already established business. There's a book called The Innovator's Dilemma. This book talks about how small entrepreneurs, so think about a company as big as Apple, and think about an entrepreneur in their garage. Now, the book says that it doesn't matter how great a company is. In fact, let the company making billions of dollars. The problem is innovative products have a way of destroying such businesses, no matter how large they are. That means innovative power is greater than financial power. 2, what happens when somebody doesn't make a better product? they duplicate what you've made. No matter what you sell, there is always going to be somebody who is going to sell that exact same product if your product is working, if your business is working. And once your market start getting crowded with too much supply of products, remember basic economics, the more supply that exists, the lesser price is going to be. If demand is fixed and there are more people in the market selling the same type of product, then what is the incentive for the market to choose your product specifically? Your product becomes something that the only reason is better than the other is simply because it is cheaper. That's problem number 2. First case, one entrepreneur can come and create a better product. In the second case, you can have multiple people come into the market duplicating your product. Both cases are bad for established businesses. What do you do as an established business to prevent this from happening? You have to go back into the entrepreneurial mindset again and begin to innovate. It's difficult for somebody to replicate your product if you're a company always innovating, always learning better ways to bring better products to the market. And you can compete with new entrepreneurs who come up with better products. So this story of Netflix, they were working out of Silicon Valley, or they were mostly tech guys. And they had this idea of creating what we have as Netflix today, this online streaming service. And they were about $50 million in debt. So after trying for a long time, this was about 2005, maybe 2007, they were able to get a sit down with the representatives of Blockbuster, and they presented their idea. They wanted Blockbuster to integrate their business, and they were asking for $50 million. So they explained this model to Blockbuster, where Blockbuster will keep on managing their physical stores all around the world, and they will manage the online aspects, which they were already building as their product. It didn't go through. They said no. Netflix started, but they were making about $1 million. So, and Blockbuster was making about $9 billion. And this is why I keep on talking about the innovators dilemma and how small entrepreneurs can lay havoc to big companies because of the power of innovation. You see, the problem with the CEO mindset, this mindset of management and execution, is that when you are trying to manage a process or a system or a business, you are looking to make your business better. But not for you to make your business better, you need to make a comparison on how your business performed previous. So a CEO may come up with a goal for the year to make 20% more in revenue than he did last year. You can't compare a creative idea, because a creative idea starts from scratch. Because when you're moving from 0 to 1, the change in percentage from 0 to 1 is infinity. To 1, to take something from non-existence to existence is infinitely harder than improving something. So when managers are thinking, they're trying to take their product from 1 to 2, 3 to 4. They're trying to improve the yield, the quality. But an entrepreneur is trying to create something that never existed prior to. How can you improve 0? You can't improve what doesn't exist. We can't predict if your idea will do well. And this was the same issue that Blockbuster had when Netflix sat with them and explained their idea. To them, they were thinking, this company is making 1 million, when we're making 9 billion. Why don't we just increase our stores? If I have more stores, I make more money. Because from the stores I already have, I know how much I'm making. 9,000 stores, we're making a certain amount. If I can increase that to 18,000 stores, we can double our revenue. This is how managers think. This is how the CEO is thinking. But if you are thinking like that, you will not see innovative ideas. There's no difference between a product that is not working and an innovative idea. They are the same. Because an innovative idea has not been proven. Do you get it? So their idea has not been proven to be able to make such amount of money. That is why they don't invest in it. As of 2024, Netflix made $39 billion. If CEOs were able to predict that Netflix would be bringing $39 billion, they would have paid up to $1 billion for it. Creative ideas don't have a past record. You cannot track how they performed in the past. So you can't know. As a CEO, if you are stuck in that mindset of efficiency, execution, improve skill, you will not see when a creative idea is placed right in front of you. You are going to miss on that chance. So there are 2 strategies you can take as a CEO or manager of a business. I'm using CEO in terms of large corporations. But even though it's just a small business, you are the owner, you are the manager. 2 strategies I've seen that have been employed to solve this problem of innovative ideas destroying old markets. The first I've seen is with Facebook. Right now Facebook isn't called Facebook anymore, it's called Meta. And if you look at Facebook, the idea when it first came was great. Very good execution. It was scaled into a massive company. They had billions of users. Now what happens as time went by? Other social media companies started coming into play. We had Instagram, and Instagram shocked Facebook. There was WhatsApp fighting for this social network market. Now the strategy that Facebook did was, Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion in April 2012. Instagram had 30 million users. Let's look at WhatsApp. Facebook bought WhatsApp for $19 billion in 2014. At that time, WhatsApp had about 450 million monthly active users, adding 1 million users per day. So they quickly bought the product because they understood that this product is going to be a competition to us. Now, the reason why Meta is still at the top is because all small innovative ideas that they would not otherwise have seen, how much is this one making? This is too small for me. They saw the potential and they bought it early. So Facebook, WhatsApp, all these things, they look like different products, but they are all owned by the same company. So they allow the entrepreneurs to do their job and discover something better and create this new service or product and buy it from them, if the price is worth it to the entrepreneur. The next thing that you can do is, as a CEO, you need to create an independent department. Creative ideas never ever pass management. I'm sure you guys have seen this situation where you would have somebody working in a company. They will come up with this great improvement the company can make on a product. They will submit this idea to management and it doesn't get passed through. They leave their company, they go start their idea, and it just does so well. One good example is Horatio Pagani was working with Lamborghini. He comes up with this great idea. He gave it to them, they declined it, so he left Lamborghini to create his own company, Moderna Design. And Moderna Design is a consultancy specializing in carbon fiber composites for clients like Ferrari and Daimler. Let me just check the benefits of carbon fiber. So carbon fiber is a much better material to use because it has high strength, it weighs less, it's chemical resistant. That's what I'm reading off of Google. So this was his idea. Integrate this into the manufacturing of cars. Simple idea, but that hasn't been done before. So how do we know it's going to work? That's management's question for you. And you can't prove it. You just have to act. All entrepreneurs, this is why they are risk takers. Entrepreneurs act out of belief. They don't know if it's going to work, but they believe it is going to work. So the second part, you have to set up a separate department that is free from the bureaucracy of management and corporations. You have to do what the management wants you to do. That's good, for getting results, but taking too far can become toxic. Hire an entrepreneur. Give that entrepreneur a small team. In fact, the building of that department should not be in the same building of the company. It should be somewhere else. Because basically, creative ideas look like nonsense. They should in no way be influenced by the company itself. You have to leave them to do their own thing. I think Steve Jobs did something when it comes to the design of Apple. Steve Jobs made the design department independent. He allowed them to come up with his own ideas and embark on its own project, independent of what the management has to say. You either implement two strategies. Find these entrepreneurs. Once they've validated their products, give them a good deal and buy their product from them, their business from them, integrate their idea into yours. Or you create a separate department that is independent, so the culture and the mindset and the way of thinking does not influence them. These are the only two ways to go about it. Of course, there are great entrepreneurs that end up becoming great CEOs. A very good example of a great entrepreneur and a great CEO is Hamdi Ulukaya, a Turkish immigrant in the US. His company is called Chobani. And Chobani is worth billions. So I'll tell you the story of how he started. And now he's a perfect example of how you must be if you want to be somebody who can create a business. Not just find an idea, but find the idea, build the business, and make sure your business keeps on living as new competition comes in. So he started like every entrepreneur will start. He saw an ad for a yogurt plant. Yogurt, that food. There are plants that create these yogurts, a lot of them, manufacturing companies. So there was a plant this plant had been in operation for 90 years prior to this. Maybe as a result of the business failing or some decisions, they wanted to sell their plants. And he looked at these plants, according to him, and he thought to himself, I'm from Greece. I'm just acting. Okay, this is exactly what he said. I'm from Greece. The yogurt where I grew up is better than the American yogurt. And I miss that feeling. I think if I make something like that for Americans, they would love it. These are a visionary sports market guy. So can you see that there's no complexity to the way a visionary thinks? It's all about just, how can I make something better? For him, he took his own personal experience. Okay, he got about 5 Greek people that knows how to make their Greek yogurt. And they started making this yogurt and he discovered that people wanted this yogurt and it was lovely. Now that's the entrepreneurial stage. They loved his product. Now there was one thing he said. He said that enough for him to make his product perfect, he slept in his factory for 2 years. The same factory where the product was being made. Because as a CEO and as a manager, you have to be close to your system. The system that is pumping out hundreds or thousands of products with high quality, consistently, month after month, without defaulting. Enough for you to build that system, you have to be very close to that system. So I don't blame dedicated CEOs, when they talk about sleeping in the factory, they have to sleep in their factory. They have to look at the system. What are they doing when they're sleeping in their factory? They're improving the business system, the system of operations that makes that yogurt. They're looking at what equipment makes sense, where we get our raw materials from. Is the team too large? This our process of creating this thing. It's costly. Let's change it to this way. You have to be very close to that system. And I keep on saying system because the system is not just the person working for you. It's how the people working for you, all the infrastructure, the process, every single thing comes together to create that Greek yogurt. That entire thing, the entire organization make up the business system. That's the job of the CEO, to build, improve, and manage it. So you can see. So he went from vision, taking something from non-existence. Nobody in America was drinking Greek yogurt. So now, he validated the fact that this is something that they really love. He took it to what? One. Now he had to improve his system. 1 million people love this product. How do we keep on creating this thing and meeting demand of 1 million people month after month? Let's build the system. He did that. Lovely. Greek yogurt is not just being sold in America today, it's sold in different parts of the world. So he pioneered Greek yogurt because he was the first person to sell the Greek yogurt to the world. Now what happens when you build a big company and you are making money and it's successful and everybody see that, oh, people want Greek yogurt? You start having competition coming behind you one after the other. Same thing happened in the Greek yogurt market. Competition came in. It's a free world. People see that this works and they begin to copy it. Yes, they'll make some money. You will make some money, but as more people get into the market, your profit shrinks because now you are sharing the market or you begin to compete on price. You have to keep on innovating. So what I'm seeing here is that they said that he expanded beyond yogurt. He launched Chobani Flip. So Chobani Flip is yogurt plus crunchy mixing, like snacks mixed in with yogurt. He invented Chobani oats. So can you see? By reinventing his product, he's expanding his market. Of course, there are yogurt lovers. But what about people who are concerned about their health? What do? You reinvent your product to meet the demands of those people. Let's say there are about 10 million people who are buying these yogurts every month. By creating something like Chobani oats to meet the demands of people who are trying to keep up their healthy lifestyle, because what I'm seeing here is Chobani oats is plant-based. They've expanded from 10 million people, added new people who want to enjoy the Greek yogurt but still eat something healthy. By reinventing the yogurt, he's keeping his business alive. He's expanding his market. He's giving himself more options. You always have to innovate. If you want to keep your business alive, you always have to innovate. So there's this cycle. You must move from innovation to management to innovation. I'm sure before Chobani Flip became a thing, he had tried several products and saw that Chobani Flip is something the market wanted. And he established that as a product. Now it goes back to management. Not only are we creating Chobani yogurt, but you're creating Chobani Flip. You take that and you integrate that. Now you're not thinking, how do we create Chobani Flip at scale? How do we create Chobani yogurt, which was the initial one, at scale? You have to bring up new management to create all of these products. If you want to build a business and keep that business alive, you must alternate when needed between the mindset and skill set of an entrepreneur and the mindset and skill set of a CEO or business owner. That's the takeaway of this content. If you're always on your toes, if you're always still looking to the future, while trying to meet the demand of your customers, you will put yourself in a very good position to reap the benefits of innovation. My sole aim for creating every content on this channel is to teach innovation, and if you're interested in being someone who will impact the world through innovative ideas, products, businesses, follow my channel, subscribe, click the notification button. I'll be bringing to you ideas, insights, teaching the skills, everything you need to become a person who innovates.